Cunningham was ready to jump off the bench right then and there. Sophie was ready to jump off the bench right then and there. Look at this. Boom. Marina Mabrey gets it. And then what do you see right here? You see the picture. You see the picture on the left-hand side over there. Yeah, Austin Kelly holding Sophie Cunningham back. Hey, Sophie, we're I know you want to get after it. I know you're about that action, but you got to stay right here on the sideline. Seriously, no one can say Caitlin Clark isn't targeted. Girl just got poked to the eye, thrown to the ground, and was still given a technical foul. Marina Mabrey was not ejected. These officials are absolutely...
New footage has surfaced that sheds light on the immediate aftermath of the latest incident involving Caitlin Clark, and it's revealing something the WNBA would rather keep under wraps. During the Indiana Fever's intense clash with the Connecticut Sun, Sophie Cunningham's fierce loyalty to Clark came into full view. Her protective instincts weren't just those of a teammate. They were personal, powerful, and impossible to ignore. In a moment that went beyond standard on-court camaraderie, Cunningham stood up with an intensity that showed she wasn't going to let anyone cross the line with Clark again.
So it's really people out here defending Marina Mabrey for Madden hit sticking Caitlin Clark to the floor, saying that she's just protecting her teammate. For one, it involved Caitlin Clark and JC Sheldon. They had their little spiel before that. And then JC Sheldon scratches Clark in the face, then invades her space after that. Clark pushes her away because of that. And then Marina Mabrey comes get involved and Madden hit sticks her to the floor, man. And y'all just like she was protecting her teammate. But then Sophie Cunningham is getting called vile and disgusting for dropping JC Sheldon to the floor and dragging her by the hair. So Sophie Cunningham can't stick up for her teammate, or else it's vile and disgusting. But Marina Mabrey could get involved in something that didn't involve her, and it's just she was protecting her teammate. The Caitlin Clark hate is so...
Sophie Cunningham, the Indiana Fever's newly crowned enforcer, wasn't simply standing up for her teammate during Tuesday night's heated game against the Connecticut Sun. She had to be physically restrained by coaches as she charged in to defend Caitlin Clark. The target of her fury? JC Sheldon, a player who's had a long-running rivalry with Clark dating back to their college battles. What unfolded wasn't just about a single play. It was the latest flashpoint in a growing pattern of aggression, and Cunningham made it clear she wasn't going to let it slide.
Exactly what the fuck needed to be done last night. And I love that for her. Because what y'all not gonna do, for one, Connecticut had no chance of winning that game, but what y'all not gonna do is decide to play dirty, to play violent, because y'all getting smacked by the Indiana Fever. Y'all had no chance they had no chance of winning that game anyway. So all they resorted to was just playing fucking dirty. And shit, Sophie Cunningham said, well, shit, you know, that's why they brought me over here. So I'm about to do what they brought me over here.
Here's the tea the league office doesn't want you sipping. Caitlin Clark wasn't just randomly fouled during Tuesday night's game. She was systematically targeted. From being poked in the eye to shoved to the floor, Clark endured a level of physicality that looked more like WWE than professional basketball. And the referees? They stood by and watched like it was part of the show, turning a blind eye as the league's biggest star was brutalized. But this time, something changed. This time, Sophie Cunningham had seen enough, and she wasn't about to stay silent or still.
I saw tonight was Sophie Cunningham. Thank you. Sophie Cunningham was about to give she's about to give her the Stone Cold Stunner, bro. I'm gonna put it right here, bro. She was gripping JC Sheldon and straight bumped her. She was straight grabbing her hair and was talking shit while doing it. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you become a teammate. That's a road dog. That's a real teammate, bro. She see what made me mad the play before. Howard, none of them jokers didn't stick up for Caitlin Clark, but that's how you stick up for Caitlin Clark. That's how you fight.
The smoking gun footage captures the exact moment everything boiled over. JC Sheldon, yes, that guard from the Sun with a long-standing rivalry against Caitlin Clark, clearly and deliberately poked Clark in the eye during the third quarter. As Clark recoiled in pain and instinctively pushed Sheldon away, Marina Mabrey stormed in like a bull seeing red and violently shoved Clark to the ground. The crowd at Gainbridge Fieldhouse erupted in boos, stunned by the blatant aggression. And then it happened. Sophie Cunningham, eyes burning with fury, leapt from the bench, ready to throw down. But before she could take a step, assistant coaches grabbed her, fully aware of what was coming next if they didn't. The moment everything changed, Sophie Cunningham, the WNBA's new enforcer. Where it gets really interesting is what happened off camera. Multiple sources, including fans who were at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, say Sophie Cunningham was visibly fuming on the sidelines. She repeatedly tried to break free from assistant coaches holding her back. You can even see her mouthing the words clear as day, "That's my teammate. That's enough." The coaches knew exactly what was brewing, a protective rage that had been simmering for weeks, and it finally boiled over in the game's final minute. That's when it happened. J.C. Sheldon, the same player who deliberately poked Caitlin Clark in the eye earlier in the third quarter, was racing down the court on a fast break. But Cunningham saw red. The same Sophie Cunningham who earned a black belt in Taekwondo at just 6 years old, the youngest in Missouri at the time, stepped in and delivered what martial arts experts are calling a textbook Thai clinch. She wrapped Sheldon up and took her down, sending an unmistakable message to the entire league. "If the refs won't protect Caitlin Clark, I will." Fans erupted. This wasn't just a moment. This was a movement. The crowd gave Sophie a standing ovation as she was ejected from the game along with Sheldon and Lindsay Allen. But unlike them, Sophie wasn't walking off in shame. She walked off like a hero. In that moment, she became the enforcer Indiana needed. And guess what? Her jersey sold out overnight on the WNBA's official website. No small, no medium, no large, nothing left. Fever fans spent their money the moment they saw someone finally defend the league's most valuable star. That wasn't a coincidence. That was loyalty rewarded. Meanwhile, the WNBA's response? Predictable, disappointing, and frankly embarrassing. The league fined Sophie Cunningham and upgraded Marina Mabrey's tech to a flagrant 2, but stopped short of suspending anyone. That's right. The woman who blindsided Clark and shoved her to the ground from behind got the same punishment as the teammate who stepped in to defend her. Let that sink in. The double standard is so blatant it doesn't even try to hide anymore. The league wants Caitlin Clark's ratings, but not her protection. They want the brand, the attention, the sellout crowds, but apparently not the accountability. And to make matters worse, some in the sports media had the nerve to blame Clark for the treatment she's receiving. Stephen A. Smith and Monica McNutt, two of the biggest voices in basketball, suggested Clark was asking for it because she talks trash. Smith even compared her to Larry Bird, saying, "She's just like Bird, lights-out shooter, and she talks smack." Translation: she deserves to be assaulted on national television.
No.
Just no. Let's be real. This is victim blaming in its most obvious form. Clark talks trash like every great player does. That doesn't justify pokes to the eye, flagrant fouls, or a league-wide green light to go WWE on her every night. Even Clark's coach, Stephanie White, has had enough. After the game, she admitted, "We talked to the refs in the first quarter. We knew this was coming. They've got to get control. They've got to be better." So when the refs refused to do their job, Sophie Cunningham did hers, and fans loved her for it. Now her ex, formerly Twitter, account is lit up with retweets, commentary, and subtle jabs at the league's hypocrisy. She's not backing down, not in the game and not online. She's made it her mission to defend Clark and, by extension, the integrity of women's basketball. This wasn't just a flagrant foul. This was a flag in the ground.